I just wanted to talk about what is the volume of Shulchan Aruch? What is the text? What is it about? Shulchan Aruch means set table. The table is set. It was written by Rabbi Joseph Caro, Yosef Caro. Rabbi Yosef Caro came from Spain, and he migrated through Turkey, already settling in the Holy Land, and he settled in Safed, in the north of the Holy Land, where he composed the Shulchan Aruch in his later age. What he had composed it for was to become a quick law book, where each law was denoted after writing the corpus of the Beit Yosef, which is an entire conglomeration of earlier scholars and halachic texts put together into a commentary with laws of how to follow depending on the community and the locality, and also his view on Pesach, which is the understanding of how to follow, which halacha to follow of the law. Now, as a side note, the reason why he called it Shulchan Aruch, set table, is because of a text in the Mechilta. The Mechilta is a Tanaic text, what's called a Midrash Halacha, a Midrash of law, and it records that that after Moses received the law from God, he heard God say that you should teach the Jewish nation to the laws of the Torah as if they were a set table. So you should have everything laid out in front of them in a way that is visible and understandable. Just as a side note, the first printing of the Shulchan Aruch was in 1567 in Venice. Venice was the center of Hebrew printing at the time. At that time, there was living the Ramah. Ramah stands for Rabbi Moshe Isserles. He was the rabbi in Krakow, in Poland, and the most famous Ashkenazic rabbi of the world at the time. He wrote something called Hamapa, which is means a tablecloth, which are glosses on the Shulchan Aruch to be accompanied by the Shulchan Aruch to show Ashkenazic Jews of the Ashkenazic lands which they follow, and to incorporate also minhagim, which are not halachic pesakim. They're not laws that have been decided, but they're customs which are local. Nothing on this scale had ever been done before. There were codes written before this for both Ashkenazim, such as the case of what Ramah was writing, or Sephardim, which is the case Rabbi Yosef Karo was writing. But nothing had been done on this scale, and you see it through history at how many times and in how many places the Shulchan Aruch was printed. The Shulchan Aruch was printed more than 500 times in history, and it was printed in more than 50 localities. More than 50 places printed it. Many of these places are spread out and across different countries, and shows you the reach of this volume, which has become the canonical text of Jewish law, to the Shulchan Aruch together with the Ramah, Rabbi Moshe Isserles. I chose this volume to begin showing my different pieces of my collection because this shows you what's called the Mesorah, first of all, which is the handing down of the rabbinical law through the generations, and also shows you the extent that such a volume has traveled and is in such high demand and regard by laymen and by great rabbis and great thinkers and Talmudists. Many commentaries were written on the Shulchan Aruch. Some of them were written just as a commentary with the text, and some of them were written standalone, and some of them were put together into a page. I have all of these volumes, and you're going to be able to see it at a future moment. The first volume of Shulchan Aruch is called ʻarukh, which is about the laws of day-to-day living, ʻarukh, the path of life, and it also includes holidays, Sabbath, Passover, and things like that. It ends with the laws of Purim and the reading of the Megillah. The second volume of the Shulchan Aruch is called Yoredea, which is about the ritual requirements of Judaism and is probably the most diverse of all the 4 volumes because it covers everything from ritual slaughter to conversion, and it covers also death and martyrology, and it covers the laws of how to properly take pieces of bread that you're kneading and give to a Kohen, to a priest. It covers a very wide range and even has a section on monetary law, even though another volume is dedicated to monetary law. The laws of usury, or ribit, are put into Yoredea. The third volume of the Shulchan Aruch is Even HaEzer, which is the laws of marriage, divorce, and everything related to the idea of marriage, which is very, very highly discussed in the rabbinic literature, the mechanics of marriage and so on. The fourth volume of the Shulchan Aruch is called Choshen HaMishpat, and it is all about monetary law. And it covers everything from laws of witnesses to laws of documents and decrees, and laws of owning land and loans and so on. There are many commentaries, some which are across different volumes and some which are specific to a volume, and you're going to see this in future videos that I'm going to show you of different volumes in my collection.